This is about government budgets and regulatory settings, and this is not something that turns on a dime, clearly. But we've learned that from
each time, you have a time each year, you can get there.
There's some serious toddler steps, wanting to lean in, but they are not the leaps we need to see by any stretch of the imagination. And so but of course we do appreciate everybody who's seeking to make that stretch. But it will take everyone, and it will of course especially take the G20 economies that are responsible for 78% of all global emissions. That's where the real wins will be had. And yes, the wealthy G20 economies have a historical responsibility under the convention, but everyone that has such a vast emission load has a responsibility and needs to stretch.
Leaning in, but it's by nowhere near the level of ambition that we need to see.
So, what about
from our side, from the United Nations side, going to try to hold everyone's feet to the fire. The kids are on the street. The science is absolutely crystal clear, and the UN and the Secretary General of the United Nations has been absolutely clear that this is a moment that will not necessarily come back. We are supposed to make these things happen now.
9 different, I can't even figure how you can have 9 options, because it's every 5 years.
Yes. But at any rate,
I think what we have to, honestly, we still have a few days to go. We walked in on Article 6 with 450 brackets. Now we're down at 200. So yes, there is, and it's slow, painstaking, detailed, technical. It's not easy. It's very nerdy. But there is some progress there. If we get Article 6 of the Paris Rulebook, which deals with carbon markets and will allow for flow of funds, that would be a significant breakthrough. On loss and damage, still being discussed, complicated and difficult and not simple. But if we see some breakthroughs on one or the other, especially Article 6, that must release resources, that will begin to pave the way towards channeling a much greater resource, because 100 billion, which we haven't reached, is a floor. And anyway, it's a number that was picked out of the air back in 2009, and that inflation surely has increased it. So we need to see much more. So there we have to just continue pushing, and the negotiators have to feel their feet to the fire and find courage and bravery in finding a way forward, and smarts and not just positioning.
Appliances, whatever it is, and the building sector.
Progress happens at meetings. Success is delivered into people's lives when their livelihoods and their health and well-being is improved.